So friends, today I'm going to explain a recently released horror comedy film called The Raja Saab. Now look, this movie didn't get very good ratings. A lot of people gave it extremely negative reviews. Do you know the reason why? The main reason is that the trailer showed many scenes that were not actually included in the final movie. The story begins in Narsapur forest near Hyderabad, where we see a hearse. Inside it is a ward boy who, after cremating a dead body, is carrying the ashes. He stops at a hotel, where he gets into an argument with the hotel owner. During the argument, he mentions that he's carrying the ashes of a dead man, and that he found some belongings along with a 500 Indian rupees note near the body. Suddenly, the 500 Indian rupees note starts moving on its own, as if it's alive. It leads him deep into the forest, with the ward boy following it. We sense some strange movement around them. Inside the forest, a huge lizard, a Komodo dragon, scares him, forcing him to run in the opposite direction. While chasing the note, he reaches a massive, abandoned mansion. The ward boy enters the mansion, where he sees bizarre paintings filled with spirals used for hypnosis, symbols of multiple eyes, and other disturbing imagery. The paintings appear to be moving, but blinded by greed for the money, he ignores everything. The mansion itself is extremely strange. A cat is even seen walking upside down on a wall. As he moves forward, he fails to notice a headless corpse lying behind him. He sees a large chair ahead, and a nearby piano starts playing on its own. The 500 Indian rupees note is right there. As he tries to pick it up, the chair begins to move, and a voice tells him to return everything he took from the dead body. Terrified, the ward boy immediately puts the note, 2 rings, a locket, and a wristwatch back where they were. As he turns to leave, the headless corpse suddenly comes to life and attacks him. The story then shifts to a distant village, where Raja Saab, also known as Raju, lives. His parents have passed away, and the only family he has is his grandmother, Gangama, who suffers from Alzheimer's. She forgets everything except her husband, Kanaka Raju, who disappeared sometime around the 1950s or 1960s and never returned. Even today, she keeps remembering him and searching for him, but there has been no news. Raju is deeply troubled by this. He has a friend named Anita, who supports him emotionally and financially because she genuinely loves him. In fact, she wants to marry him. But Raju is only using her for money. He knows she loves him, yet he continues to take advantage of her. One day, a friend visits Raju and shows him photos of himself and his wife taken in Hyderabad. In one of the photos, Raju notices his grandfather. He is shocked. If his grandfather is in Hyderabad, why did he never come back? Raju shows the photo to his grandmother, who immediately recognizes the man as Kanaka Raju. Raju then calls his uncle, who lives in Hyderabad and works in the police department. The uncle says it's an old case, and reopening it would cost 5 Indian rupees lakh. Raju arranges the money from Anita and leaves for Hyderabad the very next day. After arriving in Hyderabad, Raju meets an auto rickshaw driver from his village who offers to take him home. On the way, Raju sees a nun named Bessie, and he instantly falls for her. He follows her to a church. There, he meets a little girl named Lily, who points toward Bessie. But another nun named Stella is standing beside her. Lily assumes Raju is talking about Stella and says her name out loud. Raju mistakenly believes that the nun he likes is named Stella. Later, Raju learns from another nun that Lily has a heart condition, and the church is collecting donations for her treatment. Out of the 5 Indian rupees lakh he brought, Raju donates 3 Indian rupees lakh for Lily's surgery, asking them to keep it a secret. When Bessie finds out about this, she is deeply impressed and believes it's a sign that Raju is her soulmate. Her friend reminds her that she is about to become a nun. Bessie explains that she was an orphan and had been living there since childhood, which is why she planned to become a nun. But now she feels she has chosen her life partner and has fallen in love with Raju. Meanwhile, Raju goes to the police station and hands over the bag, which is now missing 3 Indian rupees lakh. He tells the officer that a man named Ganga Raju once worked for his grandfather. His grandmother belonged to the Devanagar kingdom, and Ganga Raju ran away with a chest full of gold. Kanaka Raju left a letter saying he would not return until both the chest and Ganga Raju were found. Since then, he was never seen again, until recently, when he was spotted near the Charminar area. The police officer registers the case and sends Kanaka Raju's photos to nearby police stations. Since gold is involved, the police are clearly interested, hoping to recover money from it. Elsewhere, we see Ganga Raju, now wandering around suspiciously, clearly hiding something. The next day, Raju goes to the church and accidentally enters the confession room, where he starts talking about his love. He sees Bessie inside, but she doesn't see him. Otherwise, they would have talked and possibly started a relationship. But then, what about Anita? Raju was using her and taking money from her. Doesn't that make him a gold digger? This is the weirdest part. A girl who truly loved him, and he forgot her the moment he came to the city, almost instantly. That evening, Raju receives a call from Bessie. They address each other by name, but neither recognizes the other yet. Bessie tells him that the grandfather he's searching for is actually a fraud. She explains that she once went to a hospital to admit a child, where she saw Kanaka Raju standing in line. There was a strange symbol on his forehead. He hypnotized her. His eyes turned red and glowed, and while staring into her eyes, he simply said, "Give me the money." Under hypnosis, Bessie gave him the money and left. Raju is deeply disturbed by this and calls his grandmother, asking if his grandfather was really like that. She insists he wasn't. He was a kind man who helped people wholeheartedly. This calms Raju a bit. He then goes to the police station, unaware that Ganga Raju is secretly watching him. The next day, Raju is sitting in a cafe when he gets an angry call from Bessie, who thinks he's a creep and doesn't even know him properly yet. At the same time, the police officer calls, demanding the missing 3 Indian rupees lakh, threatening trouble for Raju's uncle if the money isn't paid soon. Since Raju's uncle is also in the police department, it's obvious the seniors want a bribe. The uncle panics, and at that moment, a woman named Bhairavi appears. She shows Raju 1 Indian rupee crore and says that his grandfather once helped her grandfather immensely, and she has come to repay that debt. But she insists the money will only be given directly to his grandfather. Suddenly, some thieves try to steal the money. Raju beats them up and recovers the cash. Impressed by his bravery, Bhairavi thanks him warmly, while Bessie watches everything from a distance. She starts believing that this guy, Raju, whom she thought was her soulmate, is already committed to someone else. Because of this misunderstanding, she gives up on the idea of building a future with him and decides to move on with her life. Raju, on the other hand, isn't interested in Bhairavi at all and immediately pushes her away, telling her she could have just thanked him from a distance. At this point, his uncle and his friend tell him the truth, that a nun cannot get married. Hearing this comes as a huge shock to Raju, and he becomes deeply upset. That evening, Raju drinks heavily. In his drunken state, Bhairavi comes to him, but all he can see in her is Bessie. He ends up proposing to Bhairavi, while Bhairavi believes that the proposal is genuinely meant for her. Later that same night, Bhairavi receives a phone call from her grandfather, and shockingly, it turns out to be Ganga Raju himself. He angrily asks her what she's doing. She tells him that she has fallen in love with Raju. This deeply troubles Ganga Raju. He looks at a photograph in front of him. It's Gangama, Raju's grandmother. At the same time, we see Gangama leave her house and go somewhere unknown. Anita calls Raju and informs him that his grandmother said Kanaka Raju appeared in her dream and told her something, after which she left. Anita also finds out through a travel agency that Gangama got off somewhere near Hyderabad. Raju immediately sets out with Bhairavi to find her. They discover that some men have caught Gangama and are trying to steal her gold bangles, necklace, and Mangal Sutra, which she never removes. Before anything worse can happen, Raju and Bhairavi reach the spot. They find Gangama's bag lying nearby, confirming they are on the right trail. Before Raju can react, Bhairavi starts beating up the goons herself. Raju watches in shock and becomes impressed by her strength. When some of the goons attack Bhairavi, Raju steps in and beats them up as well. Afterward, Raju talks to his grandmother, who is extremely distressed. He promises her that within the next 2 days, he will find his grandfather and bring Ganga Raju along with him. The next day, Raju goes to the police station, where he sees Ganga Raju and starts chasing him. He beats him up, and Ganga Raju insists that he has nothing to do with the treasure chest. It was actually Kanaka Raju who stole it. Hearing this makes Raju even angrier, and he continues attacking him until Bhairavi steps in and saves Ganga Raju. Bhairavi then reveals the truth. She is Ganga Raju's granddaughter. She had come to Raju on her grandfather's instructions so that she could capture Kanaka Raju and hand him over to Ganga Raju. Ganga Raju then says that Raju doesn't know the real truth. Everything was done by Kanaka Raju, and it was because of him that Raju's grandmother ended up in this condition. In reality, Ganga Devi, also known as Gangama, was once the princess of the Devanagar kingdom and possessed immense wealth. One day, a beggar, who was actually Kanaka Raju in disguise, noticed her and held her hand under the pretense of asking for alms. Seeing this, the soldiers and Ganga Raju brutally beat Kanaka Raju. This humiliation shattered Kanaka Raju's ego, and greed for the queen's gold took root in his heart. That very night, he went searching for a powerful ascetic, actually a demonic entity. After months of searching, he finally found the demon. The dark energy there was so intense that Kanaka Raju's horse died instantly due to its influence. Kanaka Raju tried to summon the demon, but the demon's disciple told him it wouldn't listen without a blood offering. Kanaka Raju cut off his own hand and offered it as sacrifice. Pleased by this, the demon appeared, its face horribly distorted. The demon threw Kanaka Raju into a cursed well and ordered him to chant mantras for 2 consecutive new moon nights. In the well, insects bit him and blood-sucking creatures attacked him, but he never moved or stopped. Once the ritual was complete, Kanaka Raju gained supernatural powers, and the demon gave him a cursed offering. Kanaka Raju returned to the palace and called Ganga Devi outside. She couldn't refuse and stepped out immediately. Her pet elephants sensed danger and began screaming, but she ignored the warning signs. Kanaka Raju fed her the cursed offering, placing her under his control. Under this influence, he married her, seized all her gold, and later handed the key to the jewelry vault to Ganga Raju, falsely accusing him of theft. Kanaka Raju then fled with all the gold. Because of this, Ganga Devi was exiled from her own home by her family and eventually lost her sanity. From that point on, she lived a life full of suffering, like an ordinary person. Kanaka Raju had effectively turned a queen into a beggar. Later, her son was also killed, and she raised her grandson, Raju, alone. Though she belonged to royalty, she was forced to survive through extreme hardship. Ganga Raju then explains that he received information that Kanaka Raju was hiding in Nursapur forest inside the same mansion. He had gone there to search for him. Raju, Bhairavi, his uncle, and Raju's friend all travel to Nursapur forest and find the mansion. Inside, they see the same strange hypnotic symbols everywhere. In one room, the ward boy is trapped. Raju searches the entire mansion for Kanaka Raju. Meanwhile, Raju's uncle wanders into another area and starts getting hypnotized by the symbols. Just in time, Raju opens a door, breaking the trance. The ward boy is also freed. Inside one room, Raju finds massive amounts of gold and cash. The ward boy warns him not to touch anything, saying the mansion belongs to its owner, Kanaka Raju, who is already dead. Kanaka Raju had died of a heart attack in the hospital where the ward boy worked. The ward boy had performed his cremation. Kanaka Raju's spirit lured the ward boy to the mansion so his ashes could be brought there and not immersed, allowing his soul to remain bound to the place forever. Raju then tells everyone to collect the gold, claiming he is the rightful heir. Suddenly, a bat flies toward a sound system, and Kanaka Raju's voice echoes through the mansion. He declares that the mansion is his body, the treasure is his soul, and even in death, he will never give it to anyone, showing his obsessive love for money. Raju refuses to back down and challenges him. At that moment, the urn containing Kanaka Raju's ashes shatters. The ashes take shape, forming Kanaka Raju's ghost, which appears before Raju. The spirit tells him that he won't be able to leave, that he was brought here by Kanaka Raju himself. Technically, Kanaka Raju was Raju's grandfather, but what he did was unforgivable. He betrayed everyone. After his death, Kanaka Raju created a terrifying supernatural world of his own, and because of that, he even reached his wife, Gangama, and planted fear and confusion in her mind. Kanaka Raju first tried to lure Raju to this place, but Raju couldn't reach it on his own. So Kanaka Raju used Gangama instead. He brought her all the way to Hyderabad, and that's how Raju finally ended up here. Now, On the upcoming third new moon night, Kanaka Raju has to perform a massive ritual, one that no one will be able to stop. Once it's completed, his ultimate and most important plan will succeed. Raju and the others desperately try to escape the mansion, but the main door has vanished. The ward boy explains that this is Kanaka Raju's illusion mansion. Anyone can enter it if Kanaka Raju allows, but leaving is only possible with his permission. That's why the ward boy has been trapped there for so long. They search for another exit, but even when they manage to get outside, a train suddenly appears in the middle of the forest with no tracks. Terrified, they run back inside, only to be hunted by other supernatural entities. Around the same time, Gangama sees Kanaka Raju in her dreams. He calls her to the mansion, saying that he's about to end and that she must come quickly. She tells Raju about this over the phone, which only increases his anxiety. He starts wondering, what does Kanaka Raju still want from Gangama? What unfinished goal is he trying to complete? The next day, when they go searching for the treasure again, they suddenly end up in the hospital graveyard, where Kanaka Raju's body was cremated. The burning corpse begins chasing them. Panicking, they run back into the mansion. By now, it's clear that
यानी
this
कि
place
कनक राजू सबके
truly
दिमाग
is
से
a
खेल रहा था,
Maya
सबको
mansion, something that doesn't exist, yet appears real. Truth becomes lies, lies become truth. Kanaka Raju can manipulate reality at will. He is playing with everyone's minds, trapping them psychologically. He has created an entire world of his own. They attempt to escape through a window using ropes, but that fails as well. Suddenly, they see a car arrive at the mansion's main entrance. The car belongs to Bessie, who has come to retrieve her money from Kanaka Raju. It's possible that she, too, was summoned here. Bessie talks briefly with Raju and reveals that she was only a student at the church and not a fully ordained nun, meaning she can get married. This devastates Raju, because she still couldn't be his. Ironically, just a short while earlier, Raju had already been intimate with Bhairavi, which feels extremely strange and confusing, especially since Bhairavi had appeared soaking wet from nowhere before that moment. How it happened or why is never clearly explained. Bessie is actually accompanied by a man named R.I.P. She goes with him into the treasure room, where a ghost attacks them, forcing them to run out. Other spirits continue to haunt them, but the group manages to survive. By now, Raju is constantly around Bessie, talking to her, giving her attention, and clearly enjoying her presence. This bothers Bhairavi, who confronts him. Raju insists that there's nothing going on between him and Bessie. Later, Bessie is alone in her room, praying. Raju comes to her and confesses that he loves her deeply. He explains that he believed she would stay away from love and marriage, which is why he stepped back earlier. But now that he knows she can marry, he has come to propose. Bessie realizes that Bhairavi was just a misunderstanding, and she confesses her love as well, because she was already deeply in love with Raju. Meanwhile, in his own twisted illusion world, Kanaka Raju is shown sacrificing a goat as part of his dark rituals. The next day, Bhairavi goes to talk to Bessie, wanting to understand the connection between her and Raju. Raju doesn't want this conversation to happen. Suddenly, he starts acting possessed, pretending that Kanaka Raju's spirit has entered him. He sits on the same chair shown at the beginning of the film. At that moment, he receives a call from his grandmother. While talking to her, his voice suddenly changes. He says her husband will be killed. Everyone now sees someone else inside Raju. The following day, Raju apologizes to his grandmother, saying he spoke out of anger and didn't mean any of it. By now, Raju is mentally exhausted. Bessie tells him about a renowned psychiatrist and paranormal researcher named Padmabhishan. The very next day, they bring him to the mansion. Padmabhishan carefully examines the place. While meditating outside one particular room, he experiences terrifying visions. He warns Raju never to enter that room, to never open that door. When Raju asks how Kanaka Raju is doing all this, Padmabhishan explains that Kanaka Raju isn't just a normal occultist. He is a psychiatrist, hypnotist, and exorcist all in one. He is manipulating their minds. The entire mansion is filled with hypnosis and illumination symbols, which allow Kanaka Raju to put anyone into a trance-like state. He has locked their thought processes and taken control of them. To escape this, Padmabhishan says they must create a separate world inside their subconscious, placing their thoughts there so Kanaka Raju cannot access or manipulate them. Yes, it's extremely weird, but that's the only option. Padmabhishan puts Raju into a trance, showing him a peaceful place by the sea. But Kanaka Raju hijacks the trance and pulls Raju into his own illusion, taking him to a room inside the mansion where he is slitting the throats of 3 people. Horrified, Raju snaps out of it. Padmabhishan insists they must see that room to determine whether it's real, an illusion, or just a hallucination. When they enter the room, they find a well with 3 headless bodies hanging inside it. What Raju saw was real, either happening now or had already happened. Terrified, everyone runs away. Kanaka Raju appears before Padmabhishan and says he allowed him to come only to spread fear, not to expose his secrets. Kanaka Raju then tries to hypnotize Padmabhishan, but Padmabhishan is prepared. Still, Kanaka Raju outsmarts him and traps him by showing a vision of his granddaughter's death. This completely breaks Padmabhishan. Kanaka Raju then disappears. Padmabhishan regains himself and warns the others that Kanaka Raju is incredibly powerful. To survive, they must think beyond him and use self-hypnosis, locking their minds in a place Kanaka Raju cannot reach or manipulate. Think of it like Dick Halloran's concept from it, locking everything in your mind and throwing away the key. The idea is similar, though the execution here doesn't quite reach that level. Padmabhishan refers to a book, saying this could be possible by controlling the Shastra chakra, but it requires lifetimes of meditation. Emotional intensity might help, but before he can explain further, the book bursts into flames, clearly Kanaka Raju's doing. An invisible force violently throws everyone out of the mansion. What happens to them after that is unknown. Whether they survived or died is never shown. The next day, Raju is with Bessie when Bhairavi arrives angrily and reveals the truth about her intimate moment with Raju. This makes Bessie furious. Raju tries to divert their attention, but then Anita arrives, having followed him there. Yes, she confesses her love too. At this point, the story becomes completely chaotic. Honestly, it's hard to understand what the writers were thinking. 3 women should have beaten him up, but instead, they demand that Raju choose one of them. Meanwhile, Kanaka Raju shows Ganga Raju an illusion of Raju calling him, instructing him to bring Gangama to the mansion. Just look at these names: Ganga Raju, Kanaka Raju, Raju, Gangama. It's ridiculously confusing. Ganga Raju goes to Gangama, but she gets angry upon seeing him. He tries to tell her the truth, but she suffers a stroke. She's rushed to the hospital. Ganga Raju calls Raju and explains everything. Raju panics and drives to the hospital, but once he arrives, no one can hear or see him. Kanaka Raju's voice echoes, telling him that no one will acknowledge him because he isn't actually at the hospital. He never left the mansion. Everything was an illusion created by Kanaka Raju. To escape, Raju must separate his thoughts from Kanaka Raju's influence. Kanaka Raju also reveals that he separated Raju from his grandmother so that he could kill Gangama on the night of the new moon. Finally, Kanaka Raju explains that before dying of a heart attack, he performed a ritual and asked the demon ascetic how he could be reborn and live again. The demon told him that he must abandon this body, and that his wife must die a completely natural death. So basically, the death has to happen in a way where the person destroys themselves. It cannot be a forced death. If that happens, all of Kanaka Raju's sins will be washed away, and he will be reborn. This is exactly why Kanaka Raju kept Raju away from Gangama. He kept increasing her stress and slowly pushed her closer to death. By now, Raju is filled with rage. He walks alone into the palace carrying a torch and starts burning all of Kanaka Raju's money. But suddenly, Kanaka Raju appears and tells him that he isn't burning the money at all. In reality, Raju is still in the hospital, and he is burning his own grandmother. Until now, Raju had been under Kanaka Raju's hypnosis. In truth, Raju had actually left the palace, but when he reached the hospital, Kanaka Raju made him feel as if he had never left the palace at all. When Raju finally regains his senses, he realizes that he is actually burning his grandmother's body. Her legs are already burned. A nurse screams in horror, and Raju immediately tries to put out the fire. Then Raju notices that he's holding the same palace torch. In the very next moment, he finds himself back inside the palace again. Kanaka Raju tells him that he is now trapped in this trance and exists in both places at the same time. Strange and disturbing things are happening everywhere. Completely broken, Raju starts crying and screaming in pain. He tries to use self-hypnosis to shift himself into another trance, but he fails. He becomes extremely disturbed and starts losing hope. Just then, he remembers what Ganga Raju once told him, that his grandmother was a princess of a great empire. He remembers his grandmother saying that the only thing she never forgot was her royal lineage. He recalls Padma Bhushan's words, that to escape the trance, he must create one of his own by focusing deeply on a single point. Raju meditates and creates his own trance, one where his grandmother is the queen of the Devnagar kingdom. This realization fills him with joy, as he understands that he has finally escaped Kanaka Raju's control. Kanaka Raju realizes that Raju is slipping out of his grasp and tries to pull him back into his trance, but Raju is now completely immersed in his own world. Inside the palace, Raju resumes burning all the money. Suddenly, Kanaka Raju summons a giant crocodile that attacks Raju, but Raju fights it and kills it. Next, Kanaka Raju brings the palace soldier statues to life using Raju's shadow. Every time Raju attacks them, he feels the pain himself. Still, he burns them all at once, destroying them completely. Kanaka Raju then traps Raju in a vast sea of sand. But once again, hearing his grandmother's voice helps Raju break free. He prepares to burn all the money and wealth, because that wealth is actually Kanaka Raju's soul. At that moment, Kanaka Raju summons Bairagi. Bairagi explains that Raju has reached the peak of all his emotions: anger, sorrow, love, and pain. His mind has expanded to its fullest potential. If this continues, all of Raju's chakras will awaken, and the entire universe itself will support him in destroying Kanaka Raju. This is the true meaning of the ancient scripture, becoming one with the energy of the universe. Fearing defeat, Kanaka Raju orders Bairagi to merge his soul with his own. Bairagi merges his soul with Kanaka Raju, giving him more power. Kanaka Raju then threatens Raju, saying that if he tells his grandmother that her husband is dead, she will die too, and Raju himself will have to light her funeral pyre. At that moment, Kanaka Raju and Bairagi combine and transform into a massive demonic entity. It feels like a full-scale clash of the Titans moment. They overpower Raju and begin draining his life energy. Raju remembers his grandmother's words, that he is a part of goddess Durga, born under powerful constellations, and that the goddess herself is with him. Instantly, all of Raju's chakras activate. With a single punch, he knocks down the gigantic Kanaka Raju. In the movie's ending scene, Raju takes his grandmother to Kanaka Raju's funeral rites. But because she suffers from Alzheimer's, she has completely forgotten Kanaka Raju's face. Along with him, his hypnosis has also disappeared forever. Finally, in the post-credit scene, we see Raju dressed as a clown in a strange circus outfit, but his appearance is clearly evil. This hints that part 2 is coming. Please like, subscribe our channel, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.